Cynthia Khan is back in 1989's In the Line of Duty 4, this time co-starring with Donnie Yen in a film directed by Yuen Woo-ping, and boy was this amazing. So again, I've never seen any of these In the Line of Duty films until now, until these 88 films releases. This was previously part of the In the Line of Duty box set that 88 released, so if you didn't get that box set or you didn't want to pay for a box set or whatever, you can get these films individually. This is the first in the series that has any connection to any other film in the series, and even then, you really don't need to see any of the previous films to fully enjoy this one. Cynthia Khan is back as the character in the previous film, but that's about it. Like if this was the first one you watched, you just go, oh, she's a female cop. I mean, look, you don't feel like you're missing anything. Story, and it also stars Michael Wong and Yuen. Michael Wong, very familiar face for the majority of the classic Hong Kong film period, 80s into the 90s. He was in a ton of stuff, and this was one of them. So, audio here, you can watch it with the original Cantonese Mono 2.0 with English subtitles, which is how it would have been seen in theaters in Hong Kong, or you can see it with the 2.0 Mono dub, which is how it would have been seen on video anywhere in the Americas if it ever came out, or in England or stuff like that. That's probably how most of us originally saw this. There are two versions of the film on this disc. I love it when they do that. The Hong Kong version is 95 minutes, and the English export version with classic English dub is also 95 minutes, and there's an additional opening scene in that English dub that sets up the Khan and Yen relationship. It doesn't feel like you're really missing anything gigantic by not seeing that, but just know that that's there if you do get this. And if you don't want to watch the English version, you could always start with the English version and then switch over to the Hong Kong, because it's really something that would have been put right at the front of that Hong Kong version. The translated title on screen is Royal Big Sister 4 Eyewitness. That's just what it would have been called there. It opens in Seattle, not actually shot in Seattle, or at least not much of it was shot in Seattle, but like half the film takes place in Seattle. And basically, Cynthia Khan is, as I said, she's an undercover cop in Seattle. She's working on busting up a drug ring along with U.S. cop Donnie Yen and Michael Wong, U.S. cops, I should say. A bystander witnesses a drug deal gone wrong, and then suddenly it's a game of, there he is, get him. And the cops are trying to find this guy and get him to see what he knows about this drug deal. The bad guys are trying to get this guy to silence him so he can't tell the cops what he knows. And it's basically this meek guy, this meek like dock worker, Asian dock worker, who luckily knows just fantastic kung fu, is doing his best to survive and defend himself and somehow escape to safety. So I'm not going to tell you the whole story. So he escapes back to Hong Kong, and the action moves back to Hong Kong, where the remainder of the film is set. So not going to tell you anything more than that. There isn't really a heck of a lot more to the film, but excellent action in this film. Donnie Yen is amazing. I never really knew much about Donnie Yen other than him being a name that I heard a lot until relatively recently. And wow, like if you don't know a lot about martial arts, if you saw Rogue One, Donnie Yen is essentially the Zatoichi character in Rogue One, the blind man. Donnie Yen was the Asian assassin in the last John Wick movie. Arguably, to me, one of the greatest action films ever made. And he was an icon in Hong Kong. Boston boy. Grew up, much of his life lived in Boston before he went off to Hong Kong to make movies. And it's just amazing. The action is incredible in this film. It's death-defying. It takes your breath away. It's moments where you want to rewind and watch it again. Like, did they really do that? Did that person really almost, break their neck? Answer is yes. And it's a lot of kung fu, a lot of gunplay, cars, jumping off things, leaping onto things, stuff smashing and crashing. It's really good. It's really, really good. Most people, I guess, regard this as the best in the series. I think they're all good, but this film, I mean, and if you don't know Yuen Woo-ping, he's mostly known now as the guy who choreographed the action and the martial arts in The Matrix. That's like his big American claim to fame. And I think he went on to do the first or maybe both of the Charlie's Angels movies, but he was an icon in Hong Kong cinema, and it shows. Like, he knows what he's doing. And as I say, he does not make you wait very long between action sequences. There's no time to get bored in this film. And some of what's cool too about the victim, the witness, a lot of the choreography and martial arts that he does in some of the sequences where he's at home and all these bad guys are trying to get him and beat him up, it's very Jackie Chan-like. So if you're like me and you're a huge Jackie Chan fan, or even a passing Jackie Chan fan, and like his somewhat comedic, kinetic, fluid, using whatever's next to him style of martial arts or defending himself, which is really mostly what Chan did. There's a lot of that in here too. So at times you would swear, like if I took my glasses off, I'd swear I was watching a Jackie Chan scene that I'd never seen before. And again, another gorgeous transfer from 88 Films. This looks really good, better than I would think it does. Makes it look not like an old movie. Special features. We have a new commentary by Frank Jeng and Michael Worth, who are friends and co-producers on the excellent Enter the Clones of Bruce, Bruceploitation documentary, and they're all over that box set that Severin released of those films. They are here together talking about this film, and they know everything there is to talk about the filmmakers, the actors, the era in Hong Kong, the locations. Frank Jeng lived in Hong Kong, so he'll say, oh, that's the blah blah ferry. They don't run that anymore. That parking garage is located here. So it's very interesting, very entertaining, very fun commentary. You get an archive commentary by Stephen Hammond and Michael Wong, co-star of the film, and he talks all about the film and his history of how he got into Hong Kong movies and his life and all that. And that's fascinating. You get an archive interview with Donnie Yen, which I believe came from the old British Hong Kong Legends DVD. That's 20 minutes. Looks like it's standard def zoomed in, so on a sizable TV, it looks a little fuzzy. Like, I would have been okay if they just left it 4:3, but it is what it is. That's really good, very interesting. It's a lot of clips from the film, but it's a lot of Donnie talking about his style and his philosophy of martial arts and his philosophy of making movies and making action movies. Shot in the scheme of things, probably not a long time after this movie was made, maybe a decade after this movie was made. You get the Hong Kong trailer, 4 minutes, and you get the English trailer that's 5.5 minutes. So once again, we have on the cover, which you saw earlier, the cover has the cool new stylistic artwork. Stylistic meaning it's of the same style as the other films in the series. And then you crack it open and there's different new artwork. And I believe the original Hong Kong Legends version might have used that Donnie Yen photo. Unless that's similar to the Jackie Chan blank tank top photo shoot that was used for basically every release he had in the 90s in this country. And then the cover reverses to the original Hong Kong artwork, which I love. It just gives you an option of which one you want to look at. So available on Blu-ray from 88 Films, another excellent release of another amazing Hong Kong martial arts film from the late 80s. When was this from again? I just told you. From 1989. And I think they kept making these, but I think this is the last one that 88 has released. I think they might have mentioned in the extras that later on somebody else kept using the title and making these movies. But I think as far as the original series goes, this was the last of the In the Line of Duty series. In the Line of Duty 4, available on Blu-ray now.